Hello viewers, welcome. Today we are going to discuss the chapter Delhi in 1857 by Mirza Ghalib. हमको मालूम है जन्नत की हकीकत लेकिन दिल को खुश रखने के लिए गालिब ये ख्याल अच्छा है. This couplet has been written by the famous Urdu शायर and poet Mirza Ghalib. Essay Delhi in 1857 has also been written by Mirza Ghalib. So let's get started. Mirza Ghalib was born on 27 December 1797 at Agra and he died on 15 February 1869 at the age of 71 in Delhi. His full name was Mirza Asadullah Beg Khan. He was popularly known by the pen name Ghalib and Asad. He was he wrote several ghazals and poems which has been sung in different ways by different artists. He is considered most influential poet of Urdu language and was regarded last great poet of Mughal era. He was receiving pension from the British government. He was honored with the title of Dabir ul Mulk and Najm ud Dawla. During his lifetime, the already declining Mughal Empire was eclipsed and displaced by the British East India Company rule, and finally deposed following the defeat of First Indian War of Independence, Sepoy Mutiny of 1857. These are described through his works. Today, Ghalib remains popular not only in India but also among South Asians and all around the world. Now, living through the carnage of 1857 revolt, Urdu poet Mirza Ghalib was most pained at the ruin of his beloved city, Delhi. Interestingly, we find that while in his official and published diary, Dastambai, he writes in support of British because Britishers were his patrons. Some personal letters indicates that he was as much angry at British as he was with the rebels for destroying Delhi and its inhabitants. So, now coming to the lesson Delhi in 1857, which has been written during the time of Sepoy Mutiny, rebellion of 1857, that started on 10th of May 1857 and continued till July 1857, and it was the beginning of our freedom struggle. In the story Delhi in 1857, Mirza Ghalib has narrated the pitiable situation of his house and citizens of Delhi during this turbulent period. He begins by saying that British soldiers seized the whole city and were rampant killing and looting the people of Delhi. His wife has managed to hide all their jewelries and valuables to their friend Kale Sahib house in Delhi, where it was kept in the cellar and door of the cellar was blocked by a clay wall. So at that time they needed their valuables. It was not possible to get it from Kale Sahib. Kale Sahib's house, his pension was also suspended by the British government, and it was very difficult for him to survive and to sustain his living. Mirza Ghalib was left with his costly cloth and beddings, which was the only source of his living, and he was afraid to think that what will happen and when all his clothes will be sold out. So this was the case, and he was very distressed, and out of distress he has written this essay. Now, I marvel at the varied wonders of the fate. In the days of killing and looting, when it seemed that every house in the city was emptied even of its dust, my house escaped the looters' grasping hands. Yet, I swear even so that nothing but clothes to wear and beddings to sleep upon was left to me. that Ghalib is uh, giving his situation, telling about his situation. The answer to this riddle and the key to this false seeming truth is this, that at the time when the black rebels seized the city, my wife, without telling me, gathered her jewels and valuables and sent them secretly to the house of Kale Sahib. Kale Sahib is friend of Mirza Ghalib. There they were stored in cellars, and the door of the cellar blocked up with the clay and smoothed over. So it was not possible to get that jewels. When the British soldiers took the city and were given leave to loot and kill, my wife revealed this secret to me. Now there was nothing to be done. To go there and bring them back was impossible. I said nothing and comforted myself with the thought that we were destined to lose these things and that it was well that they had not been taken from our own home. And now it is July, the fifth month, and I see no sign that I shall again receive the pension which the British government formally granted me. So Britishers were his patron. He was getting pension from them, and before British government, Mirza Ghalib was getting pension from Mughal Empire. And so I sell the cloth and bedding to keep body and soul together. And man might say that where others eat bread, I eat cloth. So he was selling his beddings and cloths, and by that he was getting some money and he was surviving on that. I go in fear that when all the cloth is eaten, I shall die naked and hungry. So he was very he was very apprehensive that he would do after his cloth will be finished. Of the servants who had long been with me, there are some few who even in this tumult did not desert me. So he was surrounded by many servants and they were serving him at that time also, and he was concerned about these servants also. These two I must feed, for in the truth, man may not turn his back on man, and I too need them to serve my needs. So, at this distressful time, Mirza Ghalib was not ready to abandon his servants, and he wanted their service, and he wanted to feed them also. In this line shows that he was a kind-hearted person. Besides, these are those suppliants who in the former days laid claim to share in the gleanings of my harvest. So these servants and these friends were the people who were enjoying life with Ghalib when there was good days of Ghalib was going on. Even in these bad times, they cry to me, and their cry, more unwelcome than the cock's untimely cry, pierces my heart and adds to my distress. So, at this difficult time, also, they were expecting that Ghalib would help them and Ghalib would feed them. And so, Ghalib was in very difficult situation how to feed them and how to feed himself and his wife. And now that these raging sickness and sorrows which oppress my body and soul have sapped all my strength and spirit, the thought comes suddenly to my mind, how long can I occupy myself adoring this toy I call a book? So now Ghalib is thinking that all life he was adoring books and adoring literature, but how long he can continue his passion, that is writing book and writing shayari, if his city is in distress, if his life is in dilemma and distress. For this distress must end, and either in death or in beggary. जला है जिस्म जहां दिल भी जल गया होगा कुरेदते हो जो अब राख जुस्तजू क्या है. In the first case, this tale must need for evermore lack an ending, and so saddens its readers' hearts. So now Ghalib is thinking that if he will end his life, then his readers will be more distressed. And in the second case, the one clear outcome is that I must raise the beggar's cry from door to door, here gathering crumbs, there driven with abuse from the lane, and humiliated in the open street. Another option was begging, and this also he did not want to do. And for how long should I tell such a tale, myself spreading the fame of my disgrace? And he's brooding that how long he can bear this pain and bear this turmoils of time. ये संग दिलों की दुनिया है जहाँ संभल के चलना गालिब, यहाँ पलकों पे बिठाया जाता है नजरों से गिराने के लिए. Now even if my pension is restored, it cannot wipe clean the mirrors of my heart. And if it is so, that mirror will itself be shattered to such ruined once as I, and I must go and live in some strange land. From May of last year to July of this, I have written what has befallen. From the August 1st, I stay my pen. So now Ghalib has stopped writing and he has discussed about his misfortune in this essay very painfully. So now, thank you so much for listening to me patiently. Thank you so much.